Welcome to the Gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Court and the warm heart of the Feylands. It is a rare occasion for us to welcome a child of dust into Issa, but it is equally rare that Niralam chooses a champion. Pleased to meet you. I am Chancellor to the High King. I pray you enjoy our hospitality. High King Titarian is Lord of the Summer Fae, the font of all our wisdom, and first amongst the immortals. And since Godflow tragically murdered the High King of the Winter Court, Titarian is the greatest and last true leader left of our kind. The sapling of the World Tree bears centuries of great wisdom. Of course, long-lived as Nirlam is, it is still regrettably mortal. Even all greatest mortal wisdom cannot compare to the perspective given by true agelessness. Begging your pardon, of course. We are the Summer Court, the very embodiments of courage, honor, and all things bright and proud. Some envious few in the Winter Court would call us arrogant and self-righteous, as well as all manner of other epithets. But remember, we are the ones who stayed true to tradition, while they turned to barbarism. The Tuatha find new recruits from our ranks. The ranks of the Fae were not always sullied by the presence of anything so coarse as the Tuatha. Once, the Summer and Winter Courts existed in harmony. But Godflow perverted the Winter Court with talk of his new god, and from that poison, the Tuatha arose. Too many mortals misunderstand the Winter Court. Our cold cousins are not evil, but merely evoke the darker truths of nature, from subtlety to decay. Perhaps it makes sense that children of dust are put off by those who embody their inevitable death, but it is regrettable that so many are misunderstood. Truly a place of wonder, as it has always been and always shall be. Here springs the life well of Dalentarth, and the greater Feylands in all directions. It is a pity that some of our kind have fallen to such degenerative states, but we cannot shed a tear for their weakness.
I've said it time and again. Mortals are meant for warfare. It is your way. Death is all part of the cycle. It is a pity your kind must suffer so in your understanding of it. Please, come forward into the light of the font. Don't linger there. I need to see you. Oh, fascinating. I had heard the telling of your ascension in the House of Ballads, but I never expected to lay eyes upon you. You are free to roam the city at your leisure, even the trellis and the understyle. If you seek mortal trappings, then Felltown will provide. Goodbye, Your Grace.
Have a nice day. Have you noticed how the gnomes never...
But the High King will only meet...
The maid, convinced of Olane's threat, agreed to free the town. The people offered thanks and praise, and quietly she went her ways. Once the ill were brought to health, and the villain had fallen by, good Olane returned to mortal ground, and gifted them with magic found.
Hello, child.
And Oghams here. Get over here. We don't abide by strangers in Issa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the people...
Farewell. If you're looking... I don't have many weapons to offer, on account of... Peace edict. Nice talking.
What is it, friend? You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I... Goodbye.
I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade, Fey blade, of course, that makes them authentic, something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway, Fey souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous, fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the Honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwenna Hand mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. What do I know of Fey politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here, thanks to the war. I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, ungrateful creatures. It's safe, that's for sure. At least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Goodbye.
Then we must do what needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. You must be the special messenger Tatarian's expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokalfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes. Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there. This is not the place. I will meet you. They are a council of Fey nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics. Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. Issa is fine, and the Fae are tolerable, but many believe they should do more to support the war effort. It's unjust to live in peace, while the rest of the world burns. I've met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Not everyone is welcome up there. It's where the court of summoned nobles spend their time reminding themselves of past glories. I'd avoid it. Goodbye.
Let me guess. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. Bye then.
Our days are hard.
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. Until we meet again. I apologize.
Varani only. Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. Stay out of my way. Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Carry on.
Believe it or not, I'm here to help. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. This one is worn by our most secretive scouts and agents. It is a good choice. Farewell.
You will feel at home here. Presenting the blade in the shadow.
Welcome to the alley. Hey there, pretty. This is Aska's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern. If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything about the understyle, the embassy, the school. Arcana, you name it. Bye now.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gurturn Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the Understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? don't drink any. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the Almain approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. It's been in our family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Issa. There's a brewery near Rathia that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. See you soon.
Have you seen Lady Wendy?
This dwelling gives great waters.
Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh, why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. How extraordinary. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I face quite the predicament. Well, I've never met him, of course. Such an honor is not granted to squires. But they say he is quite incredible, as tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. I am steward of the High King's List, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olanna will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. I enjoy my role as steward, but my fear of Lady Olanna overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe they fear us, as they fear the elements. As they should. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tatarian, but they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands my concern. Thank you, mortal. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. Goodbye, Your Grace.
Hello.
Presenting the blade in the shadow.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the font master and steward of tinctures and elixirs. Goodbye. Welcome to the Lyceum. I enjoy the mortal world immensely. It adds such texture and color to our experience. Now and then you might find me in your dustling district, taking in the bustle. I am the steward of tinctures and elixirs. A meaningless title, one I gave myself, actually. But my work is vital, as is my role, to test the font's magic. This is where we watch over the font, the source of magic in the gardens of Issa. It is a fountainhead that is nourished for as long as this world has been. The font's flow can be measured, directed, and even regulated, depending on the needs of our people. Font Master Nomoran attends to these duties. He has the role of monitoring the font's flow throughout the city and the Feylands. His telling is not to be envied, as it is one of our most important. Font Master Nomoran insists that everything flows as it should, yet I have seen his worry, and I feel the magic weakening. Strange forces are at work. It may be difficult to believe, but this city was once inhabited only by Fae. The understyle consisted of everything growing beneath the font. Now this important section of the Issa is but a dark corner, all but forgotten. Bristletongue, my moy, that would be something. A mockingbird with the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something. Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion. Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. Do come see me again.
Presenting the blade in the shadow. Presenting the blade in the shadow.
Damn.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace? I am not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor. If you value this position, you will make sure Lord Setter is not behind Huntress Hartwin. She finds him despicable, as do I. Of course. But see that it doesn't happen again.
Pretty evening, isn't it?
Good. You've come. I'm sorry to make you wait like this, but what I mean to discuss is very sensitive. It involves treachery. Despite the calm you see around you, the gardens of Issa are on the brink of war, and the question is, which one will it be? There are plans being made to seize this city. The Varani are displeased with the Court of Summer's lack of support for their people, and they wish to overthrow Tartarian and force the remaining Fae to fight. We can prevent this, but we must act now. If saving your people isn't enough, we can pay you as a reward. The Varani cannot stomach Tartarian's neutrality. They believe that his Fae subjects could be convinced to march with us on the battlefield. I believe this as well, but I would never resort violence. The Varani wish to turn Issa into a military camp. We cannot let that happen. It will ruin all our people have achieved here. Of course, it is the right thing to do. The leader of the plot is the Varani ambassador, Kierna Brenner. Every night, the ambassador strolls Memory Walk, alone. She carries a pair of daggers. Take them. Afterwards, dispose of them. Destroy them. Salvage them. I don't care. Return to me when it is done. She is no politician. She is a warlord, and a cruel one. I've heard stories that would make your heart brittle. She was sent here for one reason alone, to bring down Issa. The Varani communicate secretly using weapons. They engrave codes into the blades of daggers and swords, and that way, they can get them through a typical search. We believe this particular pair of daggers describes the defenses of Issa, where it's strong and where it's weak. The Varani are plotting, and they will act. Goodbye.
What do you want? Do you have business with the Varani in the Gardens of Issa? If so, then you must speak with me, Kierna Brenner. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. She's a disgrace to your people, and I find it hard to believe the Alfar couldn't find a stronger person for such an important position. They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it.
Presenting the blade.
If it isn't the mockingbird, come in, come in. It's always good to... Farewell, mortal.
I am at your service. Presenting the blade in the shadow. Pretty evening, isn't it?
They send the ruler of the House of Ballads to serve me? What form of unnatural mortal game is this? Why are you here? Me? Well, my seniority dictates that I should be leading this procession, but my lame leg prevents me from taking my rightful place. I should bring up the rear. I will make it to Tartarean's throne, even if I have to crawl. Great Huntress Heartwen should go first, leading us all. She's particularly like that. I would hate to anger her. Of course.
Damn quiet, damn fools. I'm sorry, friend, I didn't see you there. I'm afraid I'm a bit... concerned. A few nights ago, I was the victim of an attempted robbery. Someone sought to steal a gem of mine from a chest I warded myself. That night, 3 initiates fled the chapter. Cassera, Aloran, and Bertrand. I suspect they were somehow involved. They could only have run into the She. Can you find them? Someone attempted to steal a valuable gem. Cassera, Aloran, and Bertrand. Thank you. Find out what happened and I'll be grateful. I'm an experienced sagecrafter. My skills as a mage leave much to be desired, but no one knows stones like I do. You've got to find them. They're somewhere in the She, I'm sure of it. There's 3 of them. Cassera, Bertrand, and Aloran. The finest practitioners of the arcane crafts on the continent can be found within the Order. There are many things we have learned from our time with the Fae, though their magic is quite unlike ours. Goodbye!
Rather dreary in here. Well, happy to see an unfamiliar face. Be well.
Don't know if we've had the pleasure. I'm the finest man. Come back anytime.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Issa Chapter House of the Scholia Arcana. How may I be of assistance? We are an order of magic practitioners dedicated to the fostering of knowledge regarding all things mystical and arcane. While the heart of our power lies in Rathir, we keep an embassy here in Issa to maintain strong relations with the Fae. Traditionally, our applicants undergo years of preparation, but we understand your circumstances are somewhat irregular. Ever since you entered the city, we've been watching you. After all, an endorsement from Niralim is not quickly dismissed. If it is your wish to join our order, you must first complete the trial of initiation. It is a ritual that will better equip us to understand what place you might have among us. I will not lie, some do not survive the ordeal. Of those who do, only a select few are chosen to become members of our order. Then first I shall present you with this. It is the story of the Order's founding and a good primer for all who wish to join our ranks. Now I shall summon the circle of mages necessary to perform the ritual. Savant Engar will lead the trial. Speak to him in the Delving Hall when you're ready to begin. As a docent of the Scholia Arcana, my duties involve handling all tasks necessary for the day-to-day administration of the Order's affairs in Issa. We are a society of mages dedicated to the study of magic. Short of joining, the best way to learn about the Order is to read On the Founding of the Scholia Arcana. Despite Jorum's frustrations, the wild magic of the Fae can be channeled in the most extraordinary ways. It is a great honor for us to be granted a place among them. The Issa chapter is but a small branch of our larger Rathir chapter in the plains of Erethel. We focus more on researching the magics of the Fae and Dalentarth than pure instruction. It is not for me to divulge the details of the trial. I can only advise that you do not take the risk lightly. Farewell.
Greetings.
Greetings. I have some ability with the art of sage. Never stop practicing.
Greetings. I will be the savant presiding over your trial of initiation. Traditionally, applicants have prepared for the challenges of this trial through years of study and training. But as Augur mentioned, we realize you are unique. Do you have any questions before we begin? The magic of the ritual confronts the applicant with his or her own potential. Consequently, no two experiences are the same. How this potential manifests varies. Whatever takes place is for the applicant only. Tradition dictates it is never spoken of. And a final warning. While whatever shape the magic takes isn't real, not truly, what happens can have real consequences. Do not underestimate the danger. This is a fluid magic. The form it takes varies according to the power and nature of the ritual's focus. In this case, you. The goal is a simple one: survive. Like every Scholia Arcana member before you, to join our ranks, you must first confront the specter of your potential. And be aware that I am watching. Now, proceed into the center of the circle to begin. Good luck. Not the most welcoming place, is it? Is that a pile of corpses? Fascinating. Don't pay any attention to my ramblings, Initiate. Those fair Gorta look like they're out for blood. You seem to possess quite the capacity for violence. Intriguing. By the Founders, what is that? A synergistic construct of all chemical elements resonant within a sage-crafted crystalline substructure. I do hope you survive the trial. We must discuss this further. The first phase of the trial is complete. Another cave. How interesting. Something is terribly wrong. Ahead, I sense another's presence in the trial. Dissonance growing.
Where am I? What is this place? The Dark Empyrean. I cannot remember. I cannot remember anything. And you? I smell death on you, child. Why have you summoned me here? I am the Dark Empyrean, and I will not be bound by you or those you serve. I could kill you now, but I have plans for those who watch from the shadows. Now be gone.
Such power! One moment we were linked, sustaining the magic of the trial, and then an arc of energy, the likes of which I have never seen, burst from you. 3 mages lay dead, and 2 have fled screaming. I know the trial is not meant to be shared, but what in Lyria's name happened? A difficult question. The purpose of the spell is to confront the focus, in this case you, with a force representative of his or her potential. How it goes about this is, well, uncertain. The magic finds a way. So I must ask, what happened in your trial? What did you encounter? A woman? Masked in shadow? I will need to consult my books. Perhaps later we can discuss the details. For now, we have dead to bury and missing mages to find. As for the formalities, you have proven yourself worthy in the trial of initiation. In the name of the Scholia Arcana, I hereby confer unto you the title of Neophyte. Welcome to the Order. Come speak to me when you're ready to be of use. It is a wondrous world we have been graced with, and among its marvels is the force of magic that builds in strength every day. We have a responsibility to know what these forces are, so that we may better control it. Ah yes, newly welcomed applicants are known as neophytes. In time, those who have progressed to handling certain amounts of responsibility may become docents. Particularly gifted members may one day reach the rank of adept. They are traditionally the agents of the Scholia Arcana, to whom great tasks may be entrusted. A very few may reach the rank of savant. These are the leaders of the Order, and they yield only to one, the Arch-Sage. Oh, right. You passed. Up until the point where all hell broke loose, you were even doing well. Not that we expected anything less. I am sending you to the ruin of Aod, to the south. There, the element of fire thrives as though it has a life of its own. After your initiation trial, the magic in Aod shifted. I believe this magic is tied to you, Initiate. Confronting it might yield some answers. Followers of Rakor dwell within. They have quite the affinity for fire, as do other creatures found there. As for what may be causing the recent swelling in power emanating from the ruin, your guess is as good as mine. He is, one of the most gifted sage-crafters we have produced in generations. Wherever he may be, I hope he is safe, and will soon return to the fold. Priests of Rakor have long sealed Aod from entry, but we know it to be an ancient ruin. If you're interested in the details, read Velthilian Carr's Aod, the Mythos of Mayhem. I'm sure our library has a copy. It does not surprise me that Nuala survived the backlash of power that killed 3 of her brethren. From the first day of her novitiate, she demonstrated an insatiable curiosity and remarkable talent. But now, I can't help but wonder if we pushed her too hard. Somewhat self-destructive cultists who worship the arcane aspects of fire. They frequent places they believe blessed by Rakor, and do not welcome trespassers. Where did I put my quill? I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballad serves no one. Order? I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the warlord Wenery? I enjoy watching her backside travel. It would be best if Garnet trails far behind Great Huntress Hartman. Once at each other's throats, those two are difficult to tear apart. Always a pleasure. I am at your service, fleshy master. Hey.
Welcome. Let us never speak of this again. I don't know you. I don't like you. And I hope I never see you again. Take this gold and these supplies. Such items are hard to come by in wartime. This is where we part.
May the cycle keep you. Oh, you took me by surprise. I am Lord Saramer, the High Lore Sage of Issa. I am here to make good fortune fall.
You feel it, don't you? Anyone intimate with the ways of magic can detect the waning current. You're like me, your grace. You see the end. Is this how it happened at the House of Ballad? Did Hallam foresee this slow decay? I had a feeling he did. Of the Gardens of Issa? Of the Summer Court? Why, this crystal wall may be the end of all Fae. I know because I am Nomeron, master of the font, the wellspring of all Summer Court magic. I've seen it flow at its highest, but I've never seen it so dry. Something must be done before all this city withers into nothingness. The font is the source of all Summer Court magic. It has flowed through this mountainside since our kind sprang up from the dirt. That flow has waned in recent days. It's unnatural, even as the magic in the world grows. The Fae, it seems, will wither. The font's flow is controlled from the Lyceum Grove down below. We must open the root system and allow more water through. However, the magic that regulates this flow can only be used by some. It's protected by a ward known as the Waterlock. It can only be opened by one who carries drops from each of the 5 sacred pools surrounding Issa. Collect these drops, and you can break the Waterlock. As it is in every season, this family of Summer Fae has communed at the feet of its greatest leader, the High King Tatarian. The Western Faelands are our domain. Every season, one is chosen to attend the font's magical flow, to act as ambassador. I'm the only Fae to have held the position more than once. I feel the strength of the currents. They wash through me. They rise up and overflow. However, their power weakens. Their cool waters recede.
It has been located here for many of your generations, what we call seasons. Only in recent times has it been shaped to resemble one of your mortal cities. The Summer Court resides on the highest terrace, far above the rest of us, as it should be. While wise and powerful, he's also brash and narrow. A sliver of light in a world so dark that most of us are blind. His inaction is no match for mortal ambition. The sacred pools are the collection points for the font's yield. Together, they cradle the gardens of Issa. Keep it safe, powerful and hidden. You will find 2 of the pools below in the gardens themselves. One near the Ballad Sanctuary, and one in the Court of Summer itself. It is the source of Summer Court magic and touches our realm of origin, the land of Ashara. Without its constant flow, our kind would dry up like leaves and vanish. Most mortals know nothing of what lies beyond the veil. The magical realm of Ashara. It is a mystery even to us, as we departed its shores many seasons ago. Collect water. Goodbye.
What do you want?
I am the great huntress Hartwan, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful? How quaint. Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Winry. So it is only right I meet the High King before her. Every one of our kind has a gift, they say, a role in the telling. Mine is to seek harmony with nature by keeping the wild fae under control. I am the Reaper. Most of my seasons are spent in the shadows of the canopy, tracking my prey. I have come to the gardens of Issa to report the decay of wild fae. They are disappearing, and the king must be informed. Either they are vanishing due to the decline in fae magic, or someone is hunting them. It's my duty to discover which story is true. Growth is violent, and nothing can reach fruition without surviving conflict. That is nature's way. Our House of Valor celebrated that conflict. Now, however, this great house has fallen to mortals such as you. That is why this sanctuary has withered and faded. The magic is gone. The trellis was created as common ground where the members of the great houses may meet to share knowledge and search for answers. However, it's not been the same since the House of Valor fell and the House of Seasons was deserted. And I always thought that nothing changes. The House of Seasons was where those in tune with the Great Cycle went to understand its many mysteries. But the Great House now stands empty, its occupants gone. King Titarian will not speak of it, but I know something has happened. Whatever it is, the signs are ominous. Goodbye.
What's this then?
A glorious.
Yes, Your Grace. So, you're done. A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails? It's good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents. Yes, yes. Of course. And then? All right. Next. Yes, yes. Excellent. That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you. Goodbye, Your Grace.
I am very pleased to see you again, mortal.
My experience with you has convinced me that fell persons, while slightly stupid and aggravating, are not completely useless.
Do you seek answers? Welcome to the Trellis, Dustling. Just look at the House of Valor, the crumpled husk of its former self. Farewell, young one. Do you see...
Waiting for you. Please place the codex before him, and he will continue.
I heard about Haxi. Impressive work.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers, treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed.
But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new, and you are a mortal who is free from fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. You are intertwined with the power in the East. There can be no doubt of that. Your energy reaches back to Alabastra. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. You are right. No one can force this upon you. Such is the true power of freedom. But the Tuatha and their god will continue to seek you out, and they will find you. When they do, know that while you may be unbound by fate, death can find you still. To fight it, you must assemble allies. Seek their aid to assemble your forces. Only then can you hope to resist the forces arrayed against you. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece. The edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original? It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. The Summer and Winter Courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fae who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismir upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost.
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours. Old Fomerus Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. Beautiful city, isn't it? You can see why they don't like letting most mortals in. Even the best of us make it look like a mess by comparison.
Who would have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape, Neuralim's looking for a savior, and Tatarian is looking for a champion, and somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed. You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army. A few years ago, one warrior could have slipped past unnoticed, but stealth is no longer an option. Not even for me. But there is hope. In the plains of Erethel there waits a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Telera. Meet me in the village of Emer, and I will tell you everything. General Telera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan, but a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. Be on your way.
Presenting the blade in the shadow.
Turn away, mortal. The den of... I do not want to see you in here. This is
Presenting the blade.
You've got the seeds! Now we'll see if the Victor's Brew can stand up to a new challenger.
I'll have a batch of Aska's draft ready before the week is out. Take this, friend. And like I promised, the merchants here will give you a discount. You've got a home here in the alley for as long as you like. See you soon.
Saruman. You've done well, Child of the Dust. Those below will never know what is really happening. But in the end, is this a part of the many seasons or the sudden tempest? Does hiding the rot not spoil the harvest, no? Take this. You're brave. Perhaps we will meet again. Farewell.
The architect readied himself. He construed the goods of earth and sky as tools, and weighted plans of origins, built two-piece planks for wood and stone. He began creating. Waters trickled through the Shee, and life sprung from the ground. The wolf and its antelope, the bear and its fish, all the work of the architect. As the architect laboured, he found an inferno. There, in the heart of the Feywood, the fire raged. consumed all life uncontrollably. He faced the inferno, but could not quell its hunger. In despair, he looked upon the Sidhe. He saw the saplings nourished by the gentlest of touches. He went to the river and said, "Follow this path and you will never run dry." The river changed its course and fell onto the blaze. A tired sigh escaped the water. It remains as an azure mist upon the land, ringing with fate's song. Its broomy brow left a sheen of rich dew on every leaf and blade of grass. The fires abated, the rock cloven by time, and the cascades sauntering through this vale. The architect finished crafting the Sidhe, this haunting beauty, a mystic requiem for the fading of Ashara's other children. It will forever remain the body of the forest, built from an ordered wilderness, constructed by a natural chaos.
Well, I hoped you would come. After all, I owe you so much. How can I repay you for what you've done? There was a time when kings begged me to read their fortunes. Shall I read yours? I have so many names, but I am not the subject of this conversation. Do you wish your fortune read or not? Interesting. It appears as though you have no future. Does this mean your death is nigh? I've crafted what I need, and I'm done with this woman's body. Right now, she's trying to tell you to kill me. Perhaps you would like to oblige her? Now burn!
It was Nuala Ignis who stirred the magics of Aod? At least now we may restore the balance of the ruin before the rest of Dalentarth is engulfed in flames. What is this? You caught her crafting this, you say? Remarkable. Just utterly remarkable. That might explain her behavior. Breaching the seals of Aod should have been far beyond her capacity. Not to mention whatever this is, I have never seen the like. It is as if the element of fire were given physical form. You have done well. I have another assignment for you when you are ready. In the meantime, I shall be studying this sunstone. Adept Fell recently began investigating some disappearances in Melaglia. I haven't heard from her in some time. I want you to go to Melaglia in the plains of Erethel. A member of our order will meet you on your way there to give more information. Do not keep your contact waiting, and when you've sorted the business with Lerkara out, meet me at the Rathir chapter house. Archsage Jubal Calidus is the highest-ranking member of our order. He is the most powerful sorcerer alive, and as such, commands the allegiance of all within the Scholia Arcana. If he ever asks anything of you, neophyte, be sure to deliver. Melaglia is a trade hub between the great cities of Odessa to the south and Rathir to the north. Lately, however, the town has been experiencing a number of disappearances. For generations, the lords of Candrian Keep have ruled over various parts of the plains of Erethel. Candrian Keep is the ancestral seat of power. Oh, goodbye.
You've returned. Have you found them? Then you must tell me, please. Very well. But don't be a stranger. Please, tell me what transpired between them. Then you must tell me, please. Yes, I suspected as much. Cassera has a strong will, and thinks with much agility. I am not surprised to learn this is her doing. Very well. What happened next? Very well. Don't be a stranger! Please, tell me what transpired. Then you must tell me, please. Yes, very well. What happened next? Regrettable. It truly is. He was neither as strong as Aloran nor as smart as Cassera. I see how they might have turned on him. And so? What of the third? Yes. Aloran often trusted too much in his own skill, and did not properly understand his environment. The She would have made quick work of him. Those fools. All this bloodshed over a gem. And now, I cannot even bring myself to look at it. Better, I think, that you keep it. In addition, I will discount my services to you, should you ever be in need of them. Thank you again. Until next time!
took him to a ruin beyond that fork in the road. I tried to stop them, but they won't release him until the curse is removed. I have no idea what they're speaking of. Please, help us! Thank you so much. The Fae took him through the narrow pass nearby. I hardly know where we are, let alone what this place is. I just want my husband back. I've heard that these wilds are the last place in Detir to find the Fae undisturbed. I'm a seamstress, an excellent one. Lot of good it's doing me right now. Please, my husband needs help! I can't bear to think about what the Fae are doing to him in there! We were just trying to pass through to the Red Marches when Amalur became ill. We had stopped so he could catch his breath when the Fae came storming out of their ruin. They took him past the barrier to the south, and I haven't seen him since.
On the sands, but greetings. You are strange. There's something distinctly Fae about you. The Fae have thrived here for many cycles. Though the way the seasons have been flowing, we may not thrive for much longer. Some of our brethren departed, like our champion, Engard. Some went mad and became Narka. Those of us who are left remain for the sake of this land. If it were free of the Narka curse, we would gladly follow after our champion. We have confidence that he'll appear in Amalur once again. Every Fae is compelled to perform a function, and reigning as champion was Engard's role. When the champion returns, the Circle of Engard will take up arms once again, and our rites of combat will shake the earth. I direct the Circle of Engard in its duties. My allies and I serve the champion of valor, not the mortal pretender, but the Fae known as Engard. Unfortunately, the champion is no more. Not since his defeat in the arena by mortal hands. The Fae champion of valor, Engard, was defeated in battle years ago at the House of Valor by a Varani warrior. In accordance with Fae tradition, control of the house passed to that mortal, and the Fae were forced to leave. They are our brethren, afflicted by the same curse as the Almain Allard. Left untreated, the curse alters the mind and role of the afflicted. We term these brethren Narka, and you'll find them wandering the desert of Ulcerland, attacking any that come near. They cannot tell friend from foe. It'll take some time before it's safe to walk the sands without a resolution to this dilemma. We realize our presence in Detir is rapidly diminishing. If we can re-establish the tradition lost with the House of Valor, perhaps we can still stabilize our presence in this region. Releasing him would be detrimental to Fae and mortal alike. I sense something peculiar about you, though. Perhaps you could help him. He could be healed, we surmise, with the completion of the Rite of Valor. Have you noticed my enraged summer brethren out in the sands? They attack anyone, friend or foe. We of the Circle term it the Narka Affliction. It's a curse magical in nature. The affected cannot be reasoned or bargained with. The Almain fell victim to the curse, and though it has not altered his mind, he complains of pain. He warrants study, and so we keep him. The key is the Cora petal. The regenerative properties of the petal can cure the Almain. You'll find it on the vessel of the Guardian of the Caverns, the Cora Thresh. The Rite of Valor will awaken the Guardian, which has lain dormant in this long winter. Defeat it, and the petal can be plucked from its vessel. Head to the Caverns of Ingress at the base of the Great Spine. There are 3 Erathi sigil stones within. They are marked by a waterfall, a pillar, and a tree. Activate them in that order. Each stone will curse you. Once the last stone is activated, a beast of many vines will challenge you in your weakened state. Defeat it, and bring the Coropatal to us. You must activate 3 sigils each stone at the right's end. A beast of many vines. Their effects are temporary. The curses will vacate your body if you begin the rite, and then leave the caverns of ingress. Farewell, mortal. Well done. I can use the petal to create an elixir for the Almain. He needs only to drink this. If it indeed frees him from the curse, he may leave. And I will finally have hope of saving Ulcerund from the Narca. Administer the potion to the Almain. We have waited long for the champion to return.
You've returned. Will the Fae allow me to leave? This place is as foreign to me as my Fae captors. There's nothing here except the lethal wildlife and a scorching sun above. And all the Fae we could ever hope to meet. Blasted, I'd leave right now if I could. They keep talking about how I can't leave until I'm free of the Narca affliction. My wife and I were just passing through Ulcerund. We lost our way trying to get to the Red Marches when I grew ill. The next thing I know, I have a burning fever, and when I stopped to catch my breath, the Fae ambushed us. You saw my wife. Thank goodness she's all right. I bet she'd wait out there for a decade if she had to. I hope I won't be stuck here for that long. They'll let me go if this works. Fine. I'll drink anything at this point. I can feel the curse leaving me. I'm not just saying that so I can leave. It's like a fever's breaking. I should get back to my wife. Thank you again, and farewell.
That was impressive. Our success with the Almain bears great portent for Ulcerund. If a mortal can be cured, then maybe a Fae can as well. I believe that you could survive a journey through the Fellfire Pit. Will you help us with another task? Ulcerund is among the last Fae lands untouched by mortal civilization, but it is not without its difficulties. Some of our brethren have fallen to a curse that renders them feral and frenzied. My brethren and I make up the Circle of Engard. We seek to restore the Fae rights lost when the mortals took the House of Valor. The Circle is holding vigil, waiting for the champion to return. We wish to repeat our success with the Almain at a much grander scale. To do this, we require the essence of another plant, this time from the Fellfire Pit. The pit is located at the base of the great spine of Ulcerund. The flower, the Fellfire bloom, rests there. The only plant that grows in the pit. We know the mortal fondness for compensation, and will reward you significantly. Excellent! Then head to the Fellfire Pit, where the Guardian of the Bloom awaits. We have waited long for the champion to return.